KJA Global Channel. The Political System and Me. Series 4, The Political System Across Every Sector of Society. Episode 41, Business and SME Sector, Licensing, Competition, and Corruption Pressure. I once believed business was outside politics. A shop is a shop. A market is a market. A company is a company. Work is work. Money is money. But then I watched how a simple dream, selling food, building furniture, repairing phones, growing crops, opening a small factory, or starting a service, could be nourished or suffocated by one invisible force. In one system, a person who works hard can climb. In another system, competition is crushed by connections. In one system, rules protect honest businesses from predators. In another system, the rules themselves become predators used to extort, harass, and control. This is where our question begins. The mechanism is already present in ordinary decisions, even when politics appears distant. Map how licensing, competition rules, procurement, taxation, access to credit, and corruption pressure affect an ordinary small enterprise. Business is never just business. Business is the daily economy of dignity. Small and medium enterprises, SMEs, are not minor. They are the backbone of livelihoods, the engine of local employment, the classroom of entrepreneurship, and often the first place where young people learn how society really works. The business sector is therefore a mirror of governance. If the political system is healthy, SMEs multiply and lift communities. If the political system is corrupt, SMEs become survival businesses, small islands in an ocean of extraction. The system reveal is licensing, competition, and corruption pressure. Small and medium enterprises are the economy of ordinary people. In plain language, the hidden mechanism is licensing, competition, and corruption pressure. Licensing can be a doorway or a gate of extortion. Corruption pressure is the daily tax of an unjust system. Fair markets require enforceable contracts and access to credit that does not belong only to the connected. In one system, a person who works hard can build a future. In another system, that person becomes a target. In one system, licenses are procedures. In another system, licenses are weapons. In one system, competition rewards innovation. In another, connection defeats competence. This episode is about the business and SME sector, licensing, competition, and corruption pressure. The economy cannot be free if entrepreneurs must kneel to power in order to survive. A democracy without a healthy SME ecosystem is a democracy with weak legs. Licensing determines whether the economy is open to talent or captured by power. A fair business environment is not the result of luck. It is the result of fair rules, capable institutions, transparent procedures, and enforceable rights. Competition is not only economics. Competition is political morality. Markets without competition become monopoly kingdoms. Corruption pressure is the shadow tax imposed on businesses. It may appear as unofficial payments, facilitation fees, political donations, hidden commissions, or demands for personal loyalty. The cost is not paid only by the business owner. It is passed to workers, consumers, suppliers, and the wider public. The hidden structure becomes traceable through the public money chain. Revenue, budget, procurement, contract, service or outcome. Audit. Public report and correction. Each arrow asks a different accountability question. Who authorized the decision? Who had the duty to act? What record should exist? And what institution can correct failure? A broken outcome may begin far upstream. The visible harm can come from an unjust rule, an unfunded institution, a hidden record, a captured oversight body, or a remedy that exists only on paper. The chain prevents us from reducing a system failure to one personality. It identifies the point where law, capacity, evidence, oversight, competition, or enforcement stopped working. When citizens and professionals can locate that break, criticism becomes more accurate and reform becomes more practical. For this episode, the principal mechanism is licensing, competition, and corruption pressure. The production graphic must make every link readable on a phone screen and must label country-specific or proposed arrangements honestly. Under dictatorship, the business and SME sector is shaped primarily by concentrated command. Information is restricted. Institutions answer upward. Challenge may carry personal risk. Licenses, contracts, credit, land, taxation, and procurement can be used to reward loyalty and punish independence. Connected firms may receive privilege while ordinary enterprises carry the cost. In a fragile democracy, formal rules may exist while patronage, unequal capacity, corruption, politicization, or weak enforcement make protection inconsistent. A business may be legal on paper but vulnerable in practice. Complaint mechanisms may exist but remain too slow, costly, or unsafe to use. In a functioning federal democracy, authority is constitutionally distributed, common rights remain enforceable, and more than one institution can question, review, or correct harmful power. Local and regional governments may regulate economic activity, but common standards must protect equal citizenship, fair competition, and access to remedy. Elections or federal language do not substitute for functioning safeguards. The viewer should compare who decides, how authority was obtained, whether records are public, whether affected people participate, and whether transparent economic policy and accessible remedy are available in practice. The constructive question is not merely what values we declare, but what institutions make the business and SME sector reliable. The minimum guardrails are these. 1. Fair competition and predictable rules. Licensing, taxation, procurement, and inspection standards should be clear, published, consistently applied, and reviewable. 2. Property and contract rights with public interest limits. People need confidence that lawful agreements will be enforced, while property and commerce remain subject to legitimate labor, consumer, environmental, and public interest protections. 3. Anti-monopoly and anti-corruption enforcement. Markets must not be captured by political connections, collusion, bribery, or dominant firms able to block fair entry. 4. Worker, consumer, and environmental protection. Economic freedom cannot mean freedom to exploit workers, deceive consumers, or transfer environmental harm to the public. 5. Transparent economic policy and accessible remedy. Businesses should be able to understand the rules, challenge unlawful decisions, report corruption safely, and obtain timely correction. These safeguards work as a system. A published rule without an independent reviewer can become theater. Oversight without records cannot see. Participation without safety can expose people. and a remedy without enforcement does not repair the harm. Global relevance. The institutional test for the business and SME sector applies across political labels. Who decides? What limits power? What information is public? Who participates? And does a real correction or remedy exist? Myanmar relevance. Use ordinary lived experience only where it clarifies the mechanism. Avoid turning Myanmar into dramatic background or implying that one national experience fits every society. Here is the civic practice for this episode. See and ask. Map the steps required to start a small business near you, and count the points where an unofficial payment may be expected. Verify. Examine licensing steps, official fees, competition rules, credit access, tax requirements, procurement access, and complaint mechanisms. Act. Count the official steps, fees, waiting points, discretionary decisions, and complaint routes for one SME process. Review. Record whether you can name the responsible institution, the evidence, the safeguard or remedy, and one safe next step. Use only lawful and proportionate steps. Do not convert an educational exercise into a public accusation. When the political system extorts SMEs, it insults dignity. And insulted dignity becomes social tension. An ethical political system protects entrepreneurs not because business owners are special, but because economic dignity supports national stability. A country cannot claim democracy while its economy is governed by bribery and patronage. A fair system tells people that they can build a life through skill, not submission. That creates belief. It creates trust. It creates dignity. And that dignity becomes one of the strongest economic and political foundations a free society can have. The principle to carry forward is this: small and medium enterprises are the economy of ordinary people. Ask yourself, what part of business integrity and fair competition have I treated as normal even though it should be visible, answerable, and correctable? Freedom survives when responsibility becomes habit. In the next episode, we continue with labor and workers, wages, safety, unions, and dignity. The system shapes our lives. Our participation shapes the system. Subscribe. Learn. Participate. Shape the future. KJA Knowledge justifies authority.